Hello, I'm Julie Leonard, and today I would really like to talk to you about coping with difficult emotions. Basically, it's okay not to be okay. I think a lot of people feel that to look for happiness, to be happy, means that you're happy all the time. And I can tell you, as a life coach over 30 years and a happiness evangelist, happiness is not static. Life is not static. Life does not just all work out perfectly. Um, in my life, I'm not joyful and happy every minute of every day. Life happens to me. I process a whole range of emotions, sometimes in 1 hour. Life happens. And we're not designed as human beings to be happy all the time. We have a whole range of emotions, and it's okay to process them. It's okay to have times that are really difficult, particularly now. People are coping with so many challenges, personally, professionally, and in the world at the moment. It's okay not to be okay all of the time. Our emotions are essential. Our emotions give us lots of feedback on how we're feeling and what's going on. It's important to listen to them, to tune into them, not to avoid them or ignore them, and not to feel that we should be okay or we should be happy or we should be positive. And conversely, that feeling those emotions, talking about those emotions, or seeking help for those emotions is a sign of weakness, which it's not. In fact, research shows us that people who tune into and experience and express the whole range of emotions are far happier. It's important for us to process how we feel. It also means that when we do that, we are more genuine people. You know, we don't have to say all the time, oh, everything's fine, everything's great when it's not. We're not being truly genuine. Now, I'm not saying that you're constantly tell everybody everything or that you dwell on something or that you're always negative. I'm not talking that way, but it's okay at times to say like I'm not okay or I'm struggling right now or I feel really upset. It's okay to share how you feel. It's human to do that. So it's really important that we do that. When I was at university studying psychology, gosh, over 30 years ago now, um, one of the psychologists that really jumped out to me and I discovered very early on was Rollo May. And it still sticks in my mind. I just remember reading a little quote from him, and he just said, "We have to feel pain in order to feel love." And it's so true that in order to be fully whole human beings, we have to experience the whole range of emotions. That we wouldn't feel joy and happiness the way that we do if we never felt the opposite of that. If everything was always happy and perfect, we wouldn't always appreciate it the same way. And life is full of challenges and wonderful things and lots of experiences. And it's just important to well, it's not really important what happens, but it's what's how we handle it basically. What we want to work on and what I'm all about as a happiness expert is building that resilience, having those tools to cope with whatever comes our way so that we can bounce back from those things and manage them and not be completely floored by life and what happens to us. So how do we cope in these difficult times? Well, we talked about this in the Happiness Club, and so we came up with some terrific ideas for you. And this is what people said. The number one way to cope, this was what everybody in the group said, was to have someone to talk to ask for help. Number one, above and beyond everything else, was having someone on your side, someone you can speak to, whether it's a good friend, family member, a coach like myself, a therapist, whether it's one person or a team. Like I have a whole team of people that support me, all different aspects. So like asking for help is a sign of strength. Asking for help is a sign of strength. It's not a weakness. We all need support. We all can do with having support. And that support will take you where you want to go much quicker than you trying to navigate it all by yourself. I have all these years of experience. I've been doing this so long that I can distill all that information into like a really small package and help you get right through it. Not you spending months and months reading books and trying to find the answers. People like myself can just get you right through it much more quickly. So, who do you have in your life that can be a support to you? Or who do you need to find in your life? What gaps are there? What support do you need? I know that you can always reach out to me anytime if I can be of support to you. But that was the number one, ask for help. I would also say be more present. I talk about this all the time, but being mindful, being more present is so important. So often our emotions are affected by the fact that we are thinking about what might happen, all the what ifs, what if this happens, what if that happens, or going over what has happened and getting caught up in that. So training yourself to be more present, be more mindful is really going to help you stay more positive and cope with difficult times. Like now, like we can really worry about, when are things going to end? When is it going to get better? What will happen in 2 months' time, in 3 months' time? But it doesn't help. It just worries us. And it adds to our stress levels and our anxiety and our fear. So being more present and coping in the moment is really going to help you. And one of the greatest tools that we can use, one, to be more present and mindful, and also to help us process our emotions, is of course meditation. So look into that. If that's something you do, try and do that every day. Keep it consistent. Have that in your toolkit for happiness and resilience. Practicing meditation, even just a few minutes a day, and you can get a guided 2-minute breathing meditation with me for free here. I'll post the link underneath. Doing a little bit of meditation, allowing yourself to process those emotions is so helpful. I teach mindfulness-based stress reduction courses where that's exactly what we do, where we really examine what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and really processing and letting it go. So reach out if you need support to find those tools. And if you are doing your meditation, keep doing it. It really, really is effective. If you find though that you're really getting caught up in that loop of negative thinking or worry or the what ifs, if you just feel it, sometimes you just can't switch your brain off, then find a way to distract yourself. Now, psychologists call that flow state, what we call getting in the zone. What are those activities that are going to help you come out of the part of your brain that's overthinking and overanalyzing into a different part of your brain and doing something that challenges you enough but is positive enough to make you feel good? So things like a computer game works really well, jigsaw puzzle, reading a story, yoga, meditation, um, cycling, those kind of things that you have to focus a little bit on in order to do it, is enough just to switch your brain from the overthinking part into a different part. And it's really beneficial. Even just 5 minutes will help break that cycle of overthinking. So try that. If you are feeling really overwhelmed, think about what is one small step that you could take to change the situation. What's in your control? What can you do? What is one little step that you could take? Because often when there's a lot going on, we feel really overwhelmed and we kind of end up inactive. We're not really doing anything because it's just too much. So what one small step could you take today that would get you moving forward a little bit or make you feel that you're taking some action? So have a think about that. I would really encourage you to think about reducing your social media. You notice I didn't say that when I talked about the flow state. A lot of us do that, that numbing, when we just scroll for a while and we lose half an hour checking YouTube videos or something. It's what we do when we want to zone out. And it's useful. I mean, I use social media all the time, but social media is great if you are its master, not its servant. If you find that you're on there for hours and watching stuff, it's not the healthiest place to be. I also think in like our social media climate, we tend to post all the greatest stuff. If you look on my personal Facebook, I only post like some really nice positive things. And I think when people are always posting all these great things in their lives, it can really make us feel worse. We compare ourselves to other people and we feel that they're doing better, they're happier, they've got their lives more sorted than us. It can make us feel more alone, it can make us feel worse. So just be honest with yourself, check in how much are you using it, how are you using it, and perhaps reducing some of that could be beneficial. And my last tip for you is surround yourself with positivity. Have positive people in your life, the people that just make you feel great, the people that cheer you on, that make you laugh, that are there to listen and support you, who just think you're the best person in the world, that when you leave them you just feel better for being around them. Make sure you surround yourself with positive people. I do that, of course, and I really like to read positive books. So I have this huge commitment that I want to read like a self-development non-fiction book one book per month. I usually end up reading about two, but I always get so much from them. They make me feel really uplifted and positive. You always get a nugget out of it that makes you feel great. There's also the lovely book that I wrote just recently, the Intentional Happiness book, a life-changing guide to being happy and staying happy. Grab yourself a copy of that. That's got loads of actionable tools and exercises to help you move forward and be more in control of your life and your happiness. But reading books can be really great. Watching documentaries. I love listening to podcasts. There's so many amazing podcasts that are so uplifting and inspirational. Right now, I really like Rich Roll and Dr. Chatterjee and Oprah Winfrey. Find those podcasts that just will lift you up. But just what are those things that you can do that surround you with a bit more positivity? So what we're saying is like it's okay not to be okay. That the whole range of emotions are natural and human. That asking for help is a sign of strength, and that there's lots that you can do to cope during difficult times. I hope you found it helpful, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.